Alright, this is what I'm gonna do today, I guess. This is my spot. Let's do a test real quick to see if I'm definitely in view here. I don't want to be too close to the statue. See, I'm worried about it stopping at some point, though. Hello, do you want to be in my video? Oh, look at that dog. He's cute. Wow, I hope he comes through the camera. So, if I stand behind the trash can, it's fine. I don't want to stand too close. Can I ask you a few questions for my video?
About what?
It's about animals.
No, we're on the phone.
Your dog's beautiful. See, I think I want to put a sign, or maybe hold a sign that just says all animals are equal. See what people say. Oh yeah, my shirt. I got this from Arm the Animals. I wonder if anyone will say anything about it. Hello, can I ask you a few questions for my video?
I'm sorry. I'm literally buying a gift tonight.
Okay, sorry. Hello, can I ask you a few questions for my video?
I'm sorry. I don't
And these people are coming on a tour, personal tour.
I don't usually use it, but it's necessary.
Oh yeah. All these people are coming in a tour group. I don't think I should bother them. Hello. 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 How you doing? Are all these people part of the group? How you guys doing today?
Yeah, we could. Thank you.
She's a speaker. So I wonder with her speaking there if it's going to pick up on my audio that much. And I can stand here and still be...
Yeah, they sponsor the police.
I definitely should have asked them because they weren't part of the group. I don't know where they were from. He had a crazy accent. Maybe somebody heard him and could point that out. The whole time I was here last time, it never stopped. And now it already did. It started a couple times. I should say salam, not... That's right, that's hello in Arabic, right? That's like kind of general. So I was saying hello, and only half of them responded. How you guys doing? Can I ask you a few questions for my video? Here comes another tour. So if one group's here, I wonder if the other group just stands around and waits. That's what it looks like. Maybe I could get one of them to come over. My battery was dying kind of fast. I hope it lasts as long as I'm trying to stay out here. Hope I can get a couple of good conversations. I should be able to. How's it going? Would I be able to ask you a couple questions for my video? Have a good day. Stay salty. See, I think these people look familiar. Did I ask them already? Should I ask them again? Or no, I was just getting set up. How's it going? I'm all set up now. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions for my video? Have a good day. saw another tank go by this morning. That was cool. There was a tank that went by, and I think at least one Humvee. If you watch the full videos, you'll be able to see it. I don't know exactly when it is. If you see it in the full video, put a comment down of the timestamp so other people can check it out. It was pretty cool. I didn't get the one this morning though. But it should be picking the street up over there. They normally come from this way and they go straight through the circle. There's a museum, a World War II museum down that way. That's where I think they were going. How you doing?
11 Lincoln. Where's that map, Tom?
11?
The visitor center.
Yeah, the visitor center.
That's a good question. I'm not exactly. I think it might be down
Which one is yours?
down that way past the theater.
Are you from the area or no?
No, I'm not
you're
really.
tourist too, okay.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't live in Gettysburg,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure it's down that way. Pretty sure. I think if you go down there, there's a theater on the right. I think it's past the theater. I don't know of a visitor center in town. Exactly, but I know the bus station is right down there, and they have a lot of maps and information and stuff like that. So if that's what he was trying to get, there's stuff down there, but there's not like a person in there he could talk to or anything. How you doing? I'm good. Would I be able to ask you a couple questions for my YouTube channel? All right, great. Thank you. How are you guys doing today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good.
We're going to be on TV.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on YouTube and TikTok. Is that all right?
Great. I'm getting out. I'm getting out of it.
All right. So how do you feel about animals?
Oh my God, you're talking. Nope, don't like them at all.
You don't like animals? Yeah. So do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a total of 10 dogs and 1 cat.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I don't like them at all.
That's a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
So would you agree that they have their own like personalities
Oh, absolutely.
and like you kind of communicate with
Quirks.
them and stuff like
Yes.
that? Like, yeah. So do you think they should have their own bodily autonomy respected because they can kind of feel and have emotions kind of like we can?
I agree to that, yes.
So how do you feel about the animals that we put into slaughterhouses, like cows and pigs and chickens?
That's the thing. You have a very good point. I also only eat ugly things.
Right,
so
right.
I don't eat cute things.
Right.
So you'll never see me eat deer or bunny or
Right, yeah.
but chickens are just ugly. So yeah.
Right, okay. So have we ever kind of used that kind of logic before in other types of actions or
I'm sure
systems?
cannibals do.
Like, yeah, and that's probably not very good, is it?
No.
So do you think that justifies how we treat those animals?
Probably not. But I like chicken.
Right, yeah. So do you think if that animal could say something, what would they be thinking?
Not sure. Do chickens even think? They probably go on instinct, I would assume, correct?
So there's some studies that show that chickens can actually recognize up to like 100 faces.
Oh, really? That's
And
interesting.
yeah, they actually can dream and stuff like that too. So
Okay.
they have a lot of similarities to other pets and animals and even to us.
I'll keep that in mind.
So do you know what a vegan is?
One who doesn't eat anything with animals or animal byproducts.
Right.
Correct? Okay.
Yes. So that's part of it. So that would be like the diet part.
Yes.
But it extends past the diet to like clothing or animal products that are tested on animals.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a stance against the oppression of the animals.
Okay.
So is there any reason that you're not vegan yet?
I like chicken.
Just because you like it? So
Stop laughing at me. I like chicken.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
the taste of chicken.
That's what a lot of people say. So
And fish.
the chicken,
I eat
yeah.
a lot of fish.
So chickens are the most killed animal by
I believe
humans, and then fish are actually land animals. Chicken are land animals, and then fish are actually murdered, if you want to say, even more than chickens
I
and
believe
I
that.
think all the other land animals like put together. So it's and there's research that shows that fish are sentient too. So and they have feelings and they have a central nervous system and
Right.
they can feel pain. So how many more animals should be oppressed before you make a change?
Unlimited amount of chickens and fish, and I'm going to stick to that.
Okay.
We have to get going. But thank you for your
All right.
time.
Yep. Thank you. She was nice and respectful-ish to me, just not to the chickens, but make sure my video is still recording. That should be a good one. Every once in a while, I'll stutter my words. I kind of fumbled that at the beginning. I didn't have any of my stuff out either, so I was gonna offer her something, but then I didn't have anything, and I actually don't have. I don't have my bottle that I had to weigh all my stuff down. So I pull my stuff out, it's gonna blow all around. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my YouTube channel? So I could ask more questions and jump through the conversation a little bit slower, but I don't want to keep them. I don't want them to be too long though either, because then I can't make shorts out of them. So if I can keep them maybe within 3 minutes, I think that's pretty efficient. That way I can try to ask more people too, because there was that one person I was talking to yesterday, or not yesterday, the last week, and a couple people walked by, I think, so. How you doing, sir? Mind if I ask you a few questions for my video? No? Have a good day. Yeah. So, like, I don't feel bad standing here because they can get good pictures of him without having me in there, or they could just hopefully remove me out of their pictures, I would think. So I'm just, like, standing here. It's turned into a really nice day. It was a little chilly when I got here. I thought maybe I was going to need a sweatshirt. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Good. You mind if I ask you a couple of questions for my video? Yeah, I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
No.
Yeah. I should have said TikTok. I wonder what he would have probably been even more. Oh no. His shoes. Oh yeah, I got to get a picture of his shoes. I was sitting here earlier and I was looking at him like, what? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can I ask you some questions for my video?
No, thank you.
Have a good day. Yeah. Nobody coming. I sat up here because I thought this would be the most traveled corner because of the statue here. But it's a lot of people in these tours, not necessarily people that I should talk to. But the pub's not open today, so if I come on a day the pub's open, there might just be more traffic just because of that. Blah, 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 blah. That was almost an accident. Truck just pulled right out in front of that van. Couple people going into blue and gray. Can I ask you some questions for my video? That's all I need to say. Can I ask you some questions for my video? A quick couple of questions. Oh, that's what I was going to say, and I totally stuttered it. Or a couple of questions real quick. Too many twos. Even though it's only two. There's Rivian truck over there. They're cool. I like that. I like them. I saw some owners were complaining about the technology and them not being up to par, but can't be as bad as the Fisker. Let me get out of here. They're trying to get a big picture. See, the tour group just ended, and now they're all just walking around. So now, if that's what's happening, then I can probably, they're going to break up and start walking all around, so then I can ask them as they come back through. Hopefully they come back through here.
Real bike.
Oh my gosh. Oh, man, another group coming? They're just like a solo group, though.
Just as you look at your feet, so that's all. That's how current.
It's interesting. I just heard him say that the mask that they used to cast the statue here of Abraham Lincoln was made in April, the same month that he was killed. So that's how close. That's how like realistic it was to like at the time he died. Like that's pretty cool. Oh my god, Trump heating and plumbing. Is that even a thing? They use the same font as the president. That was the tour guide, so I don't think I should ask her. She was just working a minute ago. So the lady was talking about how earlier she said she doesn't like chickens because they're ugly. She only eats ugly animals, not the cute ones like rabbits and cats and dogs. It's very speciesist. It's basically the definition of speciesism. You're judging the whole species based on how you feel about a couple of them. You've probably seen in some pictures. Because there's some beautiful chickens and pigs and cows. And there's some ugly ones too, just like people. And dogs and cats. Just because you meet one ugly person, does that mean that you're going to eat the whole human species? She said cannibalism. Is that what she meant by that? That was kind of funny. That's a good info eye-catching hashtag. Cannibalism. She said cannibalism. Oh. I was going to ask that guy, but I got kind of intercepted. Cut off. Oh, got another chance. How you doing today? He just kept going. Might be able to get these people in this truck. He was working. How you doing? You can use change too. Yeah, that only gives you 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes a quarter. So it looks like. Oh, then there it went up to 30.
30 minutes?
Or, yeah, 30 there.
I don't want a ticket. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm filming a video over here.
We'll come back. Huh?
Could I ask you guys some questions for my video?
Sure.
All right, great. Just right here, please. So, how do you guys feel about animals?
I love them.
Love animals?
Yes.
You have some pets?
I have always had pets.
Right?
Dogs and cats.
Yeah, both. I used to have a cat, now I have a dog.
Okay.
So would you agree that your pets have like their own thoughts and their own like emotions, and
Yes.
sometimes they're happy, sometimes
I
they're
had a dog that
sad?
was smarter than me.
Right? Yeah. Some of them are like
Yeah.
really smart.
Yes.
So would you agree that if we did something like bad to the dog, like if somebody hit him or yeah, they'd be able to feel it, and they would be, your dog would be upset, you would be upset. So how do you feel about oppression just in general? Like if somebody in power has power over somebody else and they use that power to put that person down and just to benefit for themselves, right? You would be against that.
Yeah. So glad we have the man that's already in the White House and is trying to take care of them.
Right.
Even though they're trying to say that he is
Right.
trying.
So if you're against oppression and you love animals, how do you feel about the animals that we put into slaughterhouses? Yeah, like the cows and the pigs and the chickens. Have you ever met any cows, pigs, or chickens that you've had a connection with? Like, no? Do
The
you?
only cow I had was when I was little, and I just would moo after him, and he chased me. It scared me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm scared.
So, would you agree that those animals have similarities to like your dog or your cats, where they have their own personalities and they have
They do.
their own subjective experience of what's going on and everything? So have you ever heard of a vegan? Do you know what it is to live vegan?
That's without meat.
Yes, it's rejecting, supporting the oppression of animals, which includes a diet. So we don't purchase any meat or any animal products, or any clothing that's made from animals, or any products that are tested on animals too, because there's a lot of animal testing that goes on, even on dogs. So that's something that I just saw that Trump and his team have started to shut down one of the dog facilities in New Jersey where they were testing on them. So,
They should.
have you ever considered being vegan yourself?
I think I'm pretty much that way anyway.
Right? So you don't consume any meat?
Yes, I do. I do consume some meat, but I'm not over. It's got to be really good meat. So
Right?
I don't like what we have in the stores now.
Yeah. So, it was nice talking to you. I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Okay, I'm
but
hungry.
yeah. So
I'm
just
going in.
when you make your next meal, just know that you have a choice. Whether if you can get something vegan with no animal products, then you're rejecting that oppression and the violence towards the animals. So, thank you for talking to me.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Yeah, that was really nice. She was really sweet. I hope the audio wasn't messed up because I didn't take my mic off for a while. So, trying out some different questions just to try to see if I'm comfortable asking them, if they like, if they make sense to people, like if they kind of resonate with it, or maybe I'm just jumping around too much and I shouldn't be asking some of these questions. Like, I got to keep testing it out a little bit, How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? I hesitated to ask him because I think he might have already passed, but I don't know. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Not today. Thank you.
Have a good day. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? Have a good day. Can I ask you guys some questions for my video? Have a good day. So I'm studying the Cube of Truth and the AV approach to outreach. And I want to try that. I want to use some of their, general footage to do my own stuff here. And I pretty much have the similar questions is what I'm asking already. But I could be a little bit, they're very structured and I love that. And I want to kind of make my own structure for my own solo stuff, and then really expand on that and scale it. Just try to do it more and more effective. But I got to get the blueprint laid out first, which is what I'm working on now. But I think the compassionate approach and trying to be nice to people is going to be the most effective. And just asking the questions, planting the seeds. But I want to give people stuff. I need to give them something. When I'm talking to someone and they're nice and they're thinking about it, so I have some stuff here. Let's see. Sorry, I got these things now. Okay. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Is it gonna take time? I've got a 15-minute lunch break.
Only a couple minutes.
I don't have enough time. Sorry.
Okay. Yep. Have a good day. Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Oh, I'm going to lunch real quick. Sorry.
Yep. Have a good day. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Sure.
Cool. Thank you.
What's this YouTube video?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Okay.
Probably TikTok too. So how do you feel about animals?
How I feel about them?
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, you like animals.
Alright.
So do you have any pets?
My sister has a dog. I don't really mind, but
Yeah. So you like the dog, like in general, or
dog's cool.
you spend some
I'd
time?
say I'm more of a cat person, but
Yeah.
the dogs are cool.
Yeah. I used to have a cat. Now I have a dog. But I think I'm probably more of a cat person too, myself.
I'd agree.
But when you spend time with the dog, would you agree that the dog has emotions? Like sometimes he's happy, sometimes he's sad.
I feel like all animals have emotions.
Yeah, like you can kind of communicate with them sometimes, in your own way. Obviously, they don't speak, but
Yeah, I'd say.
So, how do you feel about oppression in general? Just between people or systems of oppression.
Well, guys, is this about like being vegan and whatnot? Is that
Yeah.
where you're eventually getting at?
That's
Okay,
pretty much my next
I
question.
figured. What is your goal to try to get me to stop eating meat?
Well, my goal is just to see why you do and
Why I eat meat?
Yeah, and
I just feel like it's good proteins.
right.
Me personally, I've never killed an animal. Yeah, I do eat animals. But I feel like it's just healthy proteins.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other like vitamins and whatnot, and foods that aren't meat. But me personally, I'm still gonna eat meat. I've had people try to convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't eat meat every day, but it's like I'll change up my diet and whatnot. But I'm always gonna incorporate meats in my diet. I just have to. But that was my family that just walked in, so I gotta go.
All right.
But I appreciate
Thanks.
that.
Can I give you something real quick?
Does that have to do with vegan?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass on that.
All right. Thanks for talking to me, man. Have a good day. I had a couple more questions for him, so that sucks that he ran real quick. But that was funny because there's people kind of stopped and were like looking at him, so that makes sense that was his family. How you guys doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? All right.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? Can I ask you guys some questions for my video? How you guys doing?
How you doing?
Can I ask some questions for my video?
Depends what's the video.
I'm just gonna ask a couple questions about animals.
About animals?
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm not. It's weird wearing uniform.
Yeah,
so
I understand.
I'm not
I understand.
100% sure. How old are you though?
Like 32.
You want to join the Marines?
No.
No. Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry, dude.
I got a bad arm and a bad leg.
Okay.
Like, knee,
Yeah,
bad
it's just
shoulder.
weird because wearing uniform, so it.
Yeah.
We can't
I got you.
do a lot of stuff. You would have called us
I
in
got
your
you.
regular clothes? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Have a good day, guys. Hey, and thank you. I'm not really a big supporter of the military in general, but I do think it. How you doing? He just had that look on his face like maybe I shouldn't even ask him. I think to join the military, you either got to be pretty smart or pretty stupid. But I don't know. I probably feel that way about a lot of things. But I can respect them for trying, asking the question. So he probably thinks that I look like I'm in good shape, so I take that as a compliment. He thinks I could be a Marine, and I would probably be a really badass Marine if I did go down that path, just saying. But I wish I didn't have the injuries that I do. I would definitely train a lot harder too.
So we went to some pizza places, like one was
We're doing pizza tonight, right? Pizza tonight?
Yeah. What's that pre-order list they still have this?
Probably should have said something there. I didn't want to interrupt him. Just like that last guy that was walking by, he was like talking to his phone. Talk to text probably. I could have jumped in there and said, "Hey, can I ask you some questions?" It probably would have popped up on his phone. Oh yeah, let's check it, make sure this is still going. Nice. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? Have a good day. The wind is blowing and it's gonna blow my stuff away. But I can do this. That should work. Alright, phone's at 30%. Oh, I think I got another hour. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
I gotta go to work. I'm sorry.
Have a good day. If I finish at 1, gives me enough time to go stop at my brother's house real quick and see him and then come back to the bus. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? His shirt was pretty cool. It's always those guys that have a little bit of flair in their like voice, you know. Sometimes they got really cool shirts on. I'll probably do that one day. I'll come out and wear like a nice, not like a suit probably, but like a nice shirt. Like Maybe in the like fall, winter time, maybe I'll wear a nice jacket, come out here and like talk to people like that. Just try different styles out, you know, different like appearances. Like I got my cat shirt on now. Normally I'll just wear like, you know, dark clothing. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Sure.
All right, great. So how do you guys feel about animals?
We love animals.
Do you have any pets?
I have a dog. We have 2 cats. I have 2 dogs.
Nice. So would you agree that they have emotions? Like sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're sad. Like they could feel pain.
Oh yeah. They're living.
Yeah. So how do you feel about oppression?
Oppression?
Yeah. So like if somebody has power over somebody else,
Oh, that's not good.
and they use it for their advantage,
No.
or a system that has oppression in it. So if we put them together, how do you feel about some of the animals that we put into slaughterhouses,
Like cows?
like cows and pigs and chickens?
We shouldn't put them in the slaughterhouses.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you ever heard of a vegan?
2 of my daughters are vegans.
Yeah. Have you ever considered it yourself?
I like hamburgers too much.
Yeah. So do you think that your taste is more important than their lives?
No, absolutely not.
So your morals don't really align with your actions there.
Not always.
That's how you feel, right? So do you think maybe that you'll make a change in the future?
Probably.
It will work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely trying.
It's healthier that way anyway.
Yeah, there are some studies out saying that if you eat red meat more than twice a week,
Oh yeah.
you have increased risk of a lot of, you know, the most common ways that we end up passing.
Right.
You know.
Plus you get gout that way too.
Yeah. Yep. So would I be able to give you guys a little information on it?
Oh, sure.
All right, great. There's this. Oh shit. Thanks. The wind just started picking up. So here you go. Okay. Here's something about the environment on the back, and then this is a little kit that'll help you go easier to each side.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. All right. Well, that was a great conversation. Another great conversation. A lot of honest people. I say everybody's pretty honest, even the lady that says she loves killing animals. Yikes. How you doing? Yeah, can I ask you some questions for my video? All right, awesome. We'll switch sides. How you doing?
Good. What are you shooting?
Just a video from my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
So, how do you feel about animals?
I love animals.
You love animals?
I do.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a bunny rabbit, 2 cats, and a dog.
Nice. Just wait a second for that to get done. All right. So that's awesome. I had a couple of rabbits too, and a cat. Now I have a dog. So, would you agree that they feel emotions? Like
Oh,
even your
absolutely.
rabbits, like they're happy sometimes, they're sad sometimes.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
they feel pain and love and
Yeah,
affection.
absolutely.
So how do you feel about oppression?
Well, like being oppressed usually it's not a very nice feeling.
No. So like if somebody has power over somebody else and they kind of use that to their advantage, no matter what happens kind of to the person that's being oppressed, it's not really a good system. It's not good for that person.
No, I had a job that was like that, and it made it very like hard wanting to get up and go and work every day, because it was just like I did not enjoy being there. It was more misery than anything else.
Yeah. So let's put those things together. And how do you feel about the animals that we put into slaughterhouses?
That's a depressing topic, because it's like it's not nice having them confined. I don't believe like any animal should be confined.
Yeah,
and I'm also not a vegan, so
yeah, we use other animals for clothing and some for like testing on, and they all and ultimately end up dying. We put a lot of them through the slaughterhouses, like I said. So do you think if you're eating meat and you're consuming those animal products, can you be against oppression?
I feel like you could still be against oppression, but I feel like there is a humane and unhumane way of doing things. Like I believe that animal should be raised and cared for properly until the time of their expiration.
Right. So does it morally matter though if we give them a nice home to live in and we treat them a little bit better, if ultimately we still end up slaughtering them for something we don't necessarily need at just a fraction of their lives? They don't actually like expire. You know, cows could live to be like 24, 25 years old. And when they go to a slaughterhouse, they're normally only like 6 or 7. So it's like a quarter to a third of their life.
Well, let me put it to you this way, and we're going to get into some conspiracy things here. Overpopulation is also another issue. That's why we fix our cats and dogs.
Right.
So, like, if somebody doesn't hunt these animals, we don't kill these animals, then it's a problem. That's kind of why, like, I feel like the government made COVID, and it lessened our human population.
So humans are inherently bad for the environment too, but that doesn't mean that it's okay to go around and kill humans, though, right?
No, but it has been proven that governments have done that.
So I don't want to get into like conspiracies and stuff really, but
your body needs red meat to survive. That's how I stand. I mean, I don't believe in animal cruelty, but at the same time, I do believe that we've been hunting for many, many, many generations. It's natural for other animals to hunt in the wild and stuff, so animal instincts, we're all animals down to the core of it.
But do we do other things that animals do that are like just instincts? Like
we breed, we feed. That's down primal instinct. It's to the core.
So, for example, lions in their pride of lions, the male will the main male will kill the cubs of the other females just so that they can mate with those females from the other lions. So
That's true, but we don't do that. But we're not lions.
Because why?
Well, so there's a subconscious thing, and humans have subconscious feelings. We feel on a different level than animals do. Animals have prime instincts, but they also have feelings.
Right.
We have developed what we declare right and wrong. Like, we have laws, we have regulations, we follow these things. Now that's human, putting human things on animals when animals are still downright to the core, they're primal. They follow instincts that they have been doing for eons.
Right. So there's a difference between humans and animals. I'm not disagreeing with you there. The difference is we have the option to choose, what's right and wrong. Like you're saying that animals don't really have that. So they just, they have to do what they have to do, but we don't. We can choose. That's why we don't kill each other's, our
Offspring.
friends' girlfriends' kids because
Yeah.
we want to mate with our friends' girlfriends or whatever. You know what I
Very
mean?
right.
So we obviously know that's bad. We don't kill each other. You know, we don't like sexually assault each other, and so the animals do that all the time. You know, so
Yes and no on that last one, because there are people who do that. That's why we have prisons.
well, right. But in general we know that's wrong, and that's why we made a law against it. So legality doesn't exactly match morality all the time. So it's legal what we do to the animals in the slaughterhouses, but does it make it morally right?
I think that depends on the matter person's opinion.
What do you think the animals would say? What do you think their opinion is?
Probably that they wouldn't like being eaten.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to. Nobody wants to die either, but it is a reality of facts that we all will die.
Yeah, you think even the animals, they don't want to die?
I think that's a possibility. Because like when a cat is about to die, they know they're not right, and they choose to usually find a place to run away from like their owners and stuff, so that the way they can die.
Yeah, like they'll hide away somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you know what a vegan is?
I do know what a vegan is.
You mentioned it earlier. What's your definition of living vegan?
A vegan is a person who pretty much lives strictly on like vegetarian, like no animal products, no animal byproducts, no animal at all.
Right. Yeah. So it's different than vegetarian because the vegetarians will still eat like dairy and eggs.
Yeah.
But yeah, a vegan will reject all that too, even the clothing
Yeah.
and other products that test on animals.
Yeah.
So, have you ever considered going vegan yourself before? Because it seems like you're compassionate, you seem pretty intelligent, and you're making those connections, right? You said you like animals, and they don't want to die. So, how do you justify supporting that oppression?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
How do you justify supporting that oppression of the animals when you said that they don't want to die?
Well, I guess there is no justification, but I'm happy living my life the way I am. Who's to tell me to change it?
Right. No, it's up to you to make your own decisions. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I choose not to
Yeah.
be that way because I like red meat.
So, have you seen the studies out that say if you eat red meat more than 2 times a week, that it's detrimental to your health?
Yeah, and I actually eat more chicken and turkey than I do with red meat.
Yeah.
I eat like maybe a burger or a steak maybe once a week.
Right. Okay. So even once a week, you're still, supporting that oppression. There's still an animal at the end of the day that's going to be slaughtered for that. So
And I'm truly sorry for how that is, and it's not an easy topic to breach, but can't really change what we've been doing for primal times. We all seek out red meat because our bodies do need it.
So there's studies out there too that show that you can survive and actually thrive on a plant-based diet.
Yes, but usually there's also studies that have proven that it can weaken your immune system and also cause to other health-related issues and potentially death.
So normally all those causes are because it's not well planned out, or it's most of the time when people go vegan, they don't eat enough calories because meat is more nutrient dense, or calorie dense, but vegan food is more nutrient dense. So you have to eat a little bit more of it to get the calories. So
but there's also to a point where if you eat too much food, you'll make yourself sick. And
True.
If you're going to eat too much of that just to make up the difference, then it's not a healthy way of living either. So.
Right. So, I mean, it's just like anything. It takes a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of time invested in like the education and the learning. But do you think you'd ever consider going vegan in the future?
I still do not consider.
Would I be able to give you a little bit of information about it?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Can I make one more comparison real quick?
Sure.
So if you eat red meat just once a week, like if I said I was against like beating women, for example, right?
Okay.
Like, but I went around and I beat women like once a week, or like let's say I did it 5 times a week and I wanted to reduce, and then I was just doing it 1 time a week, and I went around saying that it's bad, I don't really want to support it, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Again, you're trying to put human moralities onto an animal's moralities, and again, it's not a very similar, fair comparison, because, like you said, we make laws to follow and abide by, but that doesn't necessarily mean that animals have the same things. If we told a lion not to eat us, would it still not eat us because it's wrong? No.
Yeah, but we don't normally go like, don't ever really go that close to a lion, do you?
I mean, we don't live in Africa, so no,
Right,
but
yeah.
if I probably saw one in the wild, I maybe want to.
Yeah. So, I mean, we go to the grocery store and we have our options and we can make our choices there. So,
But there's also humane ways of putting down an animal and using those resources. There are humane ways of putting down a human who has done wrong, though, too.
right.
Like, we're in Pennsylvania. I don't know what Pennsylvania's laws are about, like execution, but I'm from Maryland. The death penalty is a real penalty that you can get, and it's usually done by lethal injections.
Right. So, we do humanely put down like our cats or dogs if they're sick and they're suffering. We'll take them to the vet and they'll humanely put them down. But
them humanely if they suffer from anger aggressions or have bit a person.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of animals that do get, unfortunately, we don't have the resources or the time to give to them, and yeah, they end up getting put down. But what do you think about the animals in the slaughterhouses, though, going through those machines? Like you said, you eat mainly chickens and turkeys. So did you know that most birds, when they go through the slaughterhouse, they actually stun them by like an electric bath? They go through electric bath.
I did watch the food processing video, and I do not agree that is the correct way to handle animals.
Yeah.
But I do prefer eating protein, so I don't agree with it. No, I don't agree that animals should suffer or be treated in such humane ways, not being pumped with pills and stuff, because that's also stuff we're putting into our bodies.
Yeah.
But I still won't go vegan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I'm just gonna have to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of oppression, behind the scenes with that. So it's unfortunate that you don't want to make the change. You said they don't want to die. You seem like a compassionate person, but there's just
compassion and morality weigh out each other, though. It's not a balanced scale, and not everything is black and white. There are grays in the world. This is one of those topics that are very gray.
When it's a choice between life and death, that's pretty black or white.
Not always. Some people can't choose between life and death. That is also a very gray area.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. People are murdered. People are subjected to executions because of crimes. People get sick.
Yeah.
It is a very gray situation. Life is not black and white. We walk in between a lot of grays.
Well, how does that justify oppressing the animals? So even in I went down the path of pasture raised chickens and everything, and I actually went to a local farm that she raises her own chickens in her field. I went and I saw the chickens, and she moves the cage every day, so they got new grass and stuff. And then I went into the bottom of the barn where she processes them, and she showed me the whole process. And she didn't actually do it, but she was like, "This is the cone that she puts them in, so their head sticks out of the bottom." And she cuts their heads off, and they just bleed out onto the floor into that drain.
Familiar with the chicken process.
And that's pasture raised, and they were taken great care of, but they only lived a fraction of their life, and then ultimately we just kill them for something we don't need. So, you keep saying that you have to eat meat and you have to eat protein, but you don't actually. So there's tofu, there's tempeh. There's a lot of other things that...
But you can't convince a wolf or a lion not to eat meat either.
But they don't need to. They're out in the wild. That they have to eat meat. They don't have a grocery store. They can go shopping and make those choices, though. They don't really know better like we do, about killing each other and stuff. We know that's wrong. So once we know something's morally wrong, and we start to align our actions... Yeah, I am. then the laws will follow after that. You know what I mean? We don't do things because there's a law. Like, we realize there's things shouldn't be done, so we create laws for them. Does that make sense?
I understand where you're coming from, but again, I'm just going to have to agree to disagree with you. I fully respect you and your life choices.
Yeah.
But that's just not for me.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking to me. Yeah,
no problem. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. How you doing?
What are you interviewing for?
For my YouTube channel, I'm asking a couple questions about animals. Can I ask you some questions?
Certainly.
Would you want to stand over here in my video? Awesome, thank you.
Actually, animals are some of my favorite things. So.
Yeah, mine too. So do you have any pets?
Yes, 2 cats.
Right. I used to have a cat, now I have a dog, so I'm kind of more of a cat guy myself.
Yeah, me too. But we had a dog before. My wife's more of a dog person, but she loves the cats too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I love all animals, really. So, would you agree that your animals, they feel happy, they feel sad, they they feel love, and they can feel pain too?
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm a true animal lover. I just retired from work. I used to get harassed at work because I would talk about my boys constantly. And we had 3 cats at one time, and we lost our little girl, who our oldest boy was totally in love with. He was like a love-struck teenager when he first met her. When we lost her, 2 weeks later, we went and got another cat. He would not accept that cat.
Yeah. Oh.
So he was grieving. He still grieves. Yeah. We have a shadow box with our ashes. He'll go over it and sit and talk to
it. Yeah. Wow.
So yes, animals certainly the full range of emotions.
I saw that reminds me one time I saw a video of a dog that his owner died, and where he was buried, the dog would like come there like every day and like sit there for a little while. I thought that was amazing. Yeah. So, how do you feel about oppression?
Of animals or in general?
Just in general. Just like if somebody has power over somebody else, or like a system that has power, over other people, or anything else like animals. Do you think?
I think that's a very relevant question today, especially today, because I really feel that most of the American population, animals and people together, are oppressed because our opinions, what we care for, what we want, what our hopes and dreams are, don't really matter to the people who are making the decisions as to what they should be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So you're against the oppression of the animals that we do in the slaughterhouses.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So do you eat meat or any animal products?
I have to admit that I still eat meat. My wife is a vegan. She turned vegan about 3-4 years ago.
That's awesome.
And I've really given up on most meats. Like I said, if I go out for breakfast, got to have that bacon. I'll have ham every once in a while. But in general, a hamburger does not appeal to me anymore. Yeah. Her black bean burger looks better to me.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm trying to move to that mindset because of what we do to animals in order to eat them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I really like that. Try out if you like the black bean burgers. I like burgers that they make with like mushrooms, and I don't know if you have any nut allergies, but sometimes they'll take like different nuts and blend them up with mushrooms, and then they'll make patties out of that. They're really good.
She makes a stuffed shell recipe where she replaces the ricotta with ground cashews, I believe it is.
Yeah, nice.
It is fantastic. I'm not a big ricotta fan, but I love that.
Yeah, awesome. So you know what a vegan is, right? It's not just the diet, but it actually includes like clothing and any products that like animals are tested on. So it's really like a stance against that animal oppression.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. And we try to practice that in all phases of our lives. We've even gone to bamboo toilet paper.
Right, yeah.
Because we're killing the trees. The trees are home for the animals. It always drives me crazy when you hear people complaining, oh, well, the deer got in my garden again. No, your garden got into the deer.
Right? Exactly. Yep. Yeah, they were here first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's nice. Like, I guess would I be able to give you a little bit of information?
Certainly.
That might be able to help you go full vegan.
Yep. And here in town, is there a good vegan place?
So there's not like a fully vegan place in town, but there are a few places that have vegan menus.
Okay.
So if you go in, most places have vegan options,
Yeah.
like Blue and Gray and the pub there. I think they do have like 1 or 2 vegan options. But if you go down that street, Food 101 is down there. They have a vegan menu.
Okay.
And down it's Baltimore Street, right? Down Baltimore Street, there's the Cottage Creperie.
Okay, yeah.
They have a vegan menu
Yeah, we're actually
down there too.
staying at the Dobbin House, so we're just right up.
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
So here they'll give you they'll send you some information if you scan that QR code,
Okay.
and then there's some information on the back of the flyer about the environment.
Okay, and your podcast, what would I search for?
It's just my name. It's jacoblagatare. So
Okay.
I don't have any cards yet because I'm just starting.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to type it into the search
Okay.
so that next time I'm searching YouTube, you're right there.
Awesome. Great.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
I enjoyed it too. Like I said, for me, it's an evolving process because I can't give up the bacon.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at least the thought process is there for me. So.
Right. You got the support too. You know,
Yes.
most people don't have the support like that close where you guys can do it together, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's really cool. That's really cool.
Okay, Lagatare?
It's Lagatare.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. YouTube.
Very good.
Awesome.
We'll be watching you tonight.
Thank you very much.
See, my wife, you're still here when my wife gets back. Should be a good interview.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I haven't this is only my second time here.
Uh-huh.
I haven't talked to any fully vegan person yet. I've talked to a couple of vegetarians,
Now, we're,
and most people have cut back a lot. That's what almost everybody says.
yeah, that was pretty much how she started.
Right. Yeah, I mean, me too. Yeah. So,
And then she decided that she was going to fully commit.
yeah.
The unfortunate thing is it gets expensive.
Right. Can I ask you guys some questions for my video?
Depending on what they are.
It's about animals.
About animals?
Yeah.
It's not nothing bad.
All right, great. Would you be able to stand about right up here? No. Can I ask you some questions for my video? You look busy. Can I ask you guys some questions? Yeah, some people don't speak English,
Uh-huh.
so I'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" and they'll just like either look at me and just keep walking, or they just like won't even look at me at all. Like they have no idea what I'm saying.
So you will start on with the podcast?
Yeah.
I let you go out of the Gettysburg related podcasts. So there's some really good stuff out there and some really
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want to do this live, like have it live streaming. But I got to get to 50 subscribers first.
Okay.
So I still have less than 10, I think.
Well,
but-
you'll get 2 more tonight.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
And when Liz goes to work tomorrow, she can share it with. I know there's at least 2 vegans in her work.
Yeah, that would be awesome. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? The other day I was here, I said that to somebody, and he gave me the hand. He went like that and just kept walking, didn't even look at me or anything. I thought that was funny. Hey, can I ask you some questions for my video?
What video?
I'm just gonna ask you some questions about animals.
Talking to bed. Thank you.
Have a good day. For my YouTube channel.
For your YouTube?
Yeah. Would you like to? Would you like my name? It's just my name. So if you want to look it up, you could see it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you bring down your email address and I'll bill you. Okay. Sure. Right there. Okay, that's fine.
Whoa! Check out this truck coming through. It's got
Did you?
golf carts.
Well, thanks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 golf carts. Nice. I don't know where the golf courses are around here.
Your email address, I thought, so I'll just email you. You don't have to worry about it. I'll just email you. Okay.
The wind keeps like stopping and then picking up.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Well, I did a few revisions on some of my standard tours to give you a little more.
How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Some of it, yeah, but what I did is, obviously, when you're doing a tour, you can't tell the full story of everybody. You only have 2 hours. And so what I just did is I just sat down and I thought, well, okay, so instead of telling about this, I'll tell what happened after the fact. That kind of thing. I thought, of course, a few people, I was going to go down and sit down with the African American part of town, talk about that, and we got options and we go back behind them. So I thought it was to do that. We have been to the same.
So I talked to the one guy, he said his 2 daughters were vegan, and then I talked to this gentleman here and he said his wife was vegan. So that's a lot. It's a pretty decent amount of those are directly related. That's not like cousins or friends. He said daughter and wife. So that's
Betty.
I feel like if you have a vegan in your family, or then it might be able to spread a little bit easier through the family. I would hope. But some people don't really like talking about it.
I can too.
I wonder if that lady that I talked to earlier works for the Ghost City tours, because she went in there like when they opened and she didn't come back out.
So far, so good.
At least I don't think she did.
We just
They went the long way around. They didn't want to be in my video, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna kind of take it over you.
How you doing, sir? Can I ask you some questions for my video? Have a good day.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Good.
You want to be in my video? I just talked to your husband for a few minutes. He's awesome.
Believe me, once you start talking to him, you understand why I say go ahead.
I've been waiting for you. So how do you feel about animals?
I adore them.
You love animals?
Yeah.
So you said you have some pets, right?
Cats.
You
Yes.
have cats. So you love your cats.
Yes.
Would you agree that they feel emotions, that they're happy, they're sad sometimes, they feel love, and they can feel pain too?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
They're mammals. Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I'll ask you kind of different question. How do you feel about oppression?
Don't. I feel horrible about it. It makes me angry.
Right. So, if we put them together, I think you know where I'm going to go with this.
Peter,
How do you feel about the animals that we put in slaughterhouses or use for clothing or
did
test
he tell
on?
you about me?
Yeah.
I'm a vegan, so I don't approve of it.
Right. That's awesome. Thank you. So am I. So is that all? Is that all you want to say, or why
I
are
want
you?
to say people don't need meat. They
Right.
don't.
Right.
We can get it all from what we grow in the ground.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
No cholesterol either.
Right. Exactly. So thank you very much.
A friend of mine kind of said it would be better than I
Yeah, she's great.
That's sort of how I do
Now I'm starting to see some people coming out of the restaurant that I saw earlier. Maybe I'll ask them again. Can I ask you guys some questions for my video?
Hey, this guy, I'll say this guy's vegan right here. It's good.
Are you really?
It's not. Well, there's some other things that they say, such that came out of the car because they were selling the store down by my Well, actually,
Dun 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 dun.
I don't know if it's true, but it's possible. As a matter of fact,
So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna stay. Gotta just check my battery. The people that walked around are coming back. Maybe I can ask them. 20%.
So when they were removed, there were a lot of remains there because that's the direction.
Can I ask you guys some questions for my video? Have a good day. Can I ask you some questions for my video? Yeah. Have a good day. They look like they were in a rush, so probably didn't need to ask them.
Whether there's 500, I doubt that. But there could be a few.
That was one that I liked.
Try to not be in their picture. People behind me taking a picture.
Because that school was completely rebuilt about 15 years ago, and they dug that whole area up so much. So they were right up in the
I haven't talked to a group of kids yet. That's the next thing.
Okay, why don't we get started walking? Well, you heard my introduction twice, so.
Yeah, I wish she wanted to talk a little bit more. He was actually like a better conversation than she was. I mean, she doesn't like the abuse and the oppression, and she's aligned her actions with that, so that's amazing. I think she was just a little nervous being on the camera, but that's awesome. The second day I'm out here, I saw a vegan, met a vegan, so it's pretty cool.
Where? Oh, right there. I was not.
I don't know what this is. Is this a tour group? I don't see like a tour leader, but they're definitely a group from somewhere. But they are kind of split up. Maybe I can ask them. Might only have time to get one or two more conversations in. Looks like it might start raining soon. How's it going? Can I ask you some questions for my video? How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Sorry.
Have a good day. There's that red Tesla again. Is that the same one? It was really dirty this time. It definitely wasn't as clean as the last one. Yeah, the entire square got empty except for those two people and those two people I just talked to. Oh no, there are some people over there. They might have just came out of the hotel. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people go through that corner of the square. Like more than here? Maybe not. I don't know. I definitely have to move around more. But I can probably set up like this at a lot of spots. So I could put the camera over there and I could face that way and just stand here. Or I could do it in a lot of places. Obviously I can't stand there. Wonder if I could shoot from that corner to this corner. Get the flag. I probably could. Hey guys, can I ask you some questions for my video?
Oh, no, thank you.
Have a good day. Windy, windy. My shit's gonna blow. These are the people that came by earlier. Can I ask you guys some questions for my video? How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
I gotta get going. Bro.
All right. Yeah, thanks. Have a good day. It's like the same truck that my dad has. Like, what is he doing here? That's not him. He just got knee surgery. He's in bed. He ain't driving. What is that? A horse? No. Oh my god, that looked like horse stables for it's the backs of like utility trucks. It's just like the bed with cabinets on each side. So that's cool. Like 8 beds of like big utility trucks. The back of that one truck. So again, like the guy last time that was in uniform doesn't want to make a comment. Well, you're not allowed to. What if I ask them if they donate to charity? I got to do that next time. I'm gonna ask them that. What if you donate? Do you donate to charity? No. Or do you support slaughterhouses? But you're not going to want to answer the second question. Why? Because you know it's inherently wrong. How you doing, ma'am? Can I ask you some questions for my video? Look at that dog. I haven't got anyone with a pet yet. That was the other thing. Mind if I ask you a couple questions for my video? Alright, thank you. So, how do you feel about animals?
Love them.
Love them? I think I saw a dog in your car there, right?
3 in there.
Cute dog.
Yeah.
So you have a couple of dogs. Are those your only pets? Do you have anything else?
No, not right now.
So would you agree that I have a cat. I used to have a cat. I have a dog now too. Would you agree that your dogs feel happy sometimes, sad sometimes?
Oh yeah, they have feelings.
Yeah, they can feel love and pain too.
Yes.
So how do you feel about oppression in general? Like if somebody has oppression over somebody else and they're using that power to do something to benefit for themselves only?
It's not good.
So do you think there's oppression involved with animals in a way?
Yeah, there is sometimes, in certain situations.
Right. Do you think it's morally justified? Think it's okay that we do that?
No, I don't.
So do you eat meat and animal products?
I do.
Do you know what a vegan is?
Yes, I do.
What do you think it is? What do you think vegan is?
No meat. Eat no meat.
So that's part of it. When you live vegan, you're rejecting the oppression of the animals. So it includes a diet. It includes not eating meat or animal products, but it also includes like not wearing them or not using products that are tested on animals.
Right.
So it's kind of that stance against the oppression. So have you ever considered being vegan yourself?
I have, and I'm, sort of working toward that now.
Right.
Because it's the way the meat is treated.
Yeah.
And handled now.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
It's completely different than what it used to be. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not right what we do.
No.
So I'm going to use kind of an extreme example, right? But when you cut back, like let's say I was like beating women, for example, right? And I did that 5 times a day, but I wanted to cut back and I only did it once a day. right? Do you think that would be
better.
or you think it would still be like
It would still be bad.
it's just not as worse, not as bad,
Not
right?
as bad,
Kind of
but
thing,
it
but
would still be bad.
it's still pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
So, would I be able to give you some information on being vegan that might be able to help you
Sure.
if you want?
Sure.
Thank you. I appreciate you stopping and talking to me. I know you got people waiting for you over there, so I don't want to keep you too long. But this will give you some information about the environment, and then they'll send you some stuff to go vegan, recipes and nutrition information, stuff like that.
Good. Thank
So,
you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Now, I like your example.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that was great. That was a great conversation. All right, I only got 15%, so I think I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I'm gonna ask these few people real quick. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? Actually, I didn't even see what time it is. I gotta make sure I don't stay too long. It's 1:01, so I was gonna wrap up at 1, so right on time. But here's some younger guys here. How you guys doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? I'm gonna put it on YouTube, just my channel. I only got like 10 subscribers, not even 10 subscribers yet.
How long do you think it'll take?
Real quick, this is gonna be my last conversation real quick, then I'm gonna go. My phone's dying.
Gotta head out, but
All right. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks, have a good day.
We're getting close.
All right, I'm just gonna ask these people, then I'm gonna go. Would I be able to ask you guys some questions for my video? All right, I'm gonna go. All right, time to go. I don't know how many conversations that was, but that was great. That was a lot.